time and you'll benefit from the talk. So our virtual audience, please, I know it's so hard, but try to participate with us in the chat box, and we're going to read your comments. Okay, so before we start, I need a volunteer to read the Creative Mornings Manifesto. Anyone here? Team. Everyone is creative. A creative life requires bravery and action, honesty and hard work. We are here to support you, celebrate with you, and encourage you to make things you love. We believe the power of community. We believe in giving a damn. We believe in face-to-face connection, in learning from others, in jazz hands, virtual claps, and virtual snaps. We bring together people who are driven by passion and purpose, confident that they will inspire one another and inspire change in neighborhoods and cities around the world. Everyone is welcome. Creative Mornings has amazing and spectacular sponsors and global partners and local partners too. We'd like to acknowledge them today. Thank you for MailChimp. MailChimp is Creative Mornings' global partner for marketing. MailChimp Advice presents Essentials. Essentials basically provides a glimpse into how businesses operated and adapted during the COVID-19 pandemic. You can check it out on their website. Basecamp is Creative Mornings' project management partner. So thank you to Basecamp and thank you to their new email platform, Hey. Our local partners, thank you Evergreen Flowers for always sponsoring us with speakers gifts. And thank you to our host today, Riyadh Front. Okay, so this month's theme was picked by our Cleveland chapter. It's transit. We'll get to know more about it with our speaker today. So, our speaker is Othman Almulla, so I'll welcome you on stage. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. So, quick questions to everyone. Who drives to work in the morning? So, when you drive to work, do you ever notice yourself getting in the car, turning the car on, getting to work, and not realizing how you got there?
Yes.
So, basically through my story and through your story, we need to find a way to appreciate the journey and not just the destination. So thanks for sharing. So I'm going to start way back in the beginning. It's a little odd for a Saudi Arabian to play golf to begin with and to be doing it as a career. So my parents moved me to the States when I was very young. They were doing university studies in Kentucky, and we moved back after they graduated. And it was tough for me because I grew up in America trying to integrate myself back into Saudi culture and Saudi schooling system. So the best way for me to do that was to play soccer, obviously the national pastime. So I quickly found a passion and a love for our Saudi game, and it became what I did all day, every day. Played soccer at school, played soccer in Aramco where I lived, played on national teams, traveling teams for Aramco, and that was the dream. The big dream was to play on the Saudi national team. So, playing 5 to 6 to 7 days a week, playing on travel teams for Aramco all around the Middle East, going to Europe, going to Sweden, Denmark, playing in these international tournaments, and it was a big dream. It's all I wanted to do. I'd go to school, school was great, but I can't wait to get time to go play soccer. And my parents were super understanding. They were very supportive as long as my grades didn't drop. So the summer when I turned 15, I was actually training in one of the local clubs in Saudi Arabia, in Nahdla, in the Eastern Province. And I got B's instead of A's. And then my mom pulls me in for a little meeting, and she goes, you know the agreement, so no soccer for the summer. You can do what you like, you can go out with your friends, but we think that soccer is the thing that's causing you to not do the best at school. So I sit at home the first day, the second day, the third day, and I'm bored out of my mind. Because that's all we used to do, play soccer. So one of my expatriate friends who grew up in the community with me was like, let's go play golf. And I was like, golf? What am I going to go do there? It's such a different sport. All we know about golf is that it's an old person game, it's an aristocratic game. But I'm like, you know what? Golf course is actually really nice. They're green, there's trees, there's lakes, it could be a good time. So we go to the golf course, and this is what I see. Instead of the green golf course and something I'm imagining is a great time out, it's a sand golf course with, oh, can you go back?
Sorry.
It's a sand golf course with oil and sand greens. So I go, we're here, we might as well play golf. So we play, and all the kids that I was so much better at soccer were now better than me at something. And competitive kid, I'm like, no, we can't have any of that. So start practicing every day. It got to the point where I told my friend every day, I'm like, let's go play golf instead of soccer because I can't go there anymore. And he gives me his golf clubs and he's like, you go play. I'm done. I've fulfilled everything I wanted to achieve in this sport. And a couple of months later, I'm able to play both sports and I find myself gravitating to go to the golf course. I find myself gravitating to go play something interestingly new. And I was lucky enough to meet the national team captain. At the time, our national team was comprised of 3 employees from Aramco and a guy who grew up on next to one of these golf courses. So I quickly found an opportunity to break into the junior national team setup and play golf and travel around the world doing something I love. But then I had a ceiling. Obviously, there's not a lot of trainers in Saudi Arabia. There's only a handful of golf courses. Can we go back? So sorry. So I come up with this great idea to go to boarding school. So I was going to a private school, which is a big thing at the time anyways. And I sit my parents down and I say, look, I love this golf thing. I'm getting to travel. I feel like I can achieve something really good for the country. The only way for me to do that is to go to boarding school where I could go to a golf academy and do schooling. So I moved to America. Go to the States. I'm in a boarding school in a city I don't know, doing school halftime and then doing golf. And I'm like, this is fun. Then I started to really see really big improvement in my golf game. So I started to do some incredible things in the game of golf for Saudi. And from tournament to tournament, I found such an amazing opportunity to raise the Saudi flag and to be the first Saudi to win this tournament, or be the first Saudi to do this. And it really spurred me on. So I'm at university in America, on scholarship from the government, traveling 2 to 3 times a semester around the world to represent Saudi in these international competitions, and then I get another great idea. If I could take some time off of school and actually dedicate full time to play golf, maybe I can make it a profession. So I remember one late evening during finals week in America, I call my parents up and I'm like, can you guys put the speaker on, you and Dad? Make sure you're sitting down, I have a great idea here. And they go, okay. So I've been super blessed to have my parents, I'll backtrack a tiny bit. I've been super blessed to have my mom and dad be super understanding and supportive and to treat me as an adult from a very young age. And all the decisions were always made as a group and not as parents telling their kid what he needs to do. So fast forward to that night, they're sitting together listening to me, not knowing what I'm going to talk about. Am I failing? Did I get in trouble with the police? What's going on? And I go, well, you know how you sent me to boarding school? And you put all that money into golf and for me to get better at this sport? Well, there's been some good feedback from that. But I find myself not giving 100% to school, I'm not giving 100% to golf, and I'm kind of in limbo. So I found out that I can pause my scholarship. I can send a request and say I need to take a year off to go do something else for whatever reason. So I think I should move to the Middle East and try and become a professional golfer. And they go, are you sure you can pause your scholarship? If you can do that, we talked to you about the pros and the cons about that decision. Sure, do it. So I hang up the phone, I don't even let them talk anymore. I pack my stuff, I send the request on the government portal for SACM, and I left. Before I get a reply, it used to take 3 to 4 weeks to get a reply on any request you had time. Moved to Dubai, and then I get an email saying my request has been denied. So I'm like, let's not look at that. I'm in Dubai, I'm gonna try and become one of the best golfers in the Middle East. I'm gonna create my own little avenue. So I start training every single day in the 50-degree heat in Dubai, and I'm like, okay, we're on our way. and I start going to tournaments and underperforming. I found this new pressure on myself that, oh, I've dropped out of school, technically, and I'm trying to do something that's never been done before. And I found myself with a very heavy weight on my shoulders. Although my parents never mentioned it, never said anything, I also know what the Saudi culture is like. Support your kids, have them go to school, have them get a great degree, have them get a good job, get married, start a family, and live a good life. And my parents have never pushed me to go on that route. So I felt an obligation to do something great. And I felt an obligation that they had supported me to do something different, and I needed to make something of myself. And I found myself having these internal conversations of, was this the right decision? Do I have the right support system? I can't go back to them and say I failed because they've given me everything and they've given me this opportunity. And I found myself like struggling to get out of bed in the morning. Like not even wanting to go practice, not even wanting to go travel, not even wanting to go see my friends. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, I need to like look in a mirror and see where I want to go with my life. So I pick up the phone again and I say, okay, look, this journey was great. 2 years in Dubai trying to play golf, didn't really work out. I think it's a good time to go back and get a finance degree. Moved myself back in the States, self-funding university, trying to get my scholarship back somehow. And I was super lucky that the Ministry of Sport helped me get my scholarship back. Fully invested in education. Playing golf once a month, maybe 2 times a month. Finished my finance degree in 3 years, start working for Aramco. Great job, great life. Seemingly everything is good. But I always felt like something was missing. So felt like something was missing. And it ended up being competing internationally. So I started training again, no coaching, fully on my own, playing in whatever events I could play in. And I started to set these small goals for myself. What else can I achieve? What tournaments can I win? And one of my big goals has always been to win the Pan Arab Championships. So it never been done in 36 years in Saudi. And in 2016, we were lucky enough to put a team together to win the Pan Arab Championships in Oman. Team, individual, the full thing. We'd never medaled in the competition. So now, all these big goals and dreams start coming back. Can I actually become the first professional golfer from Saudi Arabia? Can I do it? Like, what are the obstacles that I would face? So there was a big cultural shift in the government to support sport and to give people opportunities to do some great things. And I was lucky to be nominated to be in an elite athlete program from the government, which gives me full-time off of work to play my sport full-time. So obviously Aramco was ecstatic. They're like, you're an employee, but we have to let you go be a sporting person. So I'm taking full-time off, playing golf, and I set this goal that I need to become a professional golfer. Fast forward to 2019, and I got an amazing opportunity with the support of my parents and support of the government to become Saudi Arabia's first professional golfer. And with that is obviously a big responsibility because some of my commercial partners are some of the biggest companies in the world. Saudi Aramco, the Ministry of Investment, Invest Saudi. So it was like one of the proudest moments in my life because throughout my journey, my parents had always thought, what are you doing with your kid? Are you really making a good decision letting him throw his life away? Because at the time, there wasn't a future for athletes. What are you going to do? You're going to play soccer? And then what? What are you going to do? You're going to play basketball? And then what? There's no real segue to do something meaningful financially or economically. But with the landscape we're living in now, anyone can achieve anything, right? We have amazing opportunities, male and female, with whatever passions we have in life to go out and do that. So 2019, we had the first Saudi International, this world championship hosted by Saudi Arabia with some of the best players in the world. And it was a dream come true for me. The first time I played in a professional event was in Dubai in 2007 on an invitation, and it was a surreal experience. That's kind of where the goal started and the dream started of wanting to be a professional golfer. And again, one of the proudest moments of my life to be able to fly the Saudi flag in an international event in Saudi Arabia. And the good thing about that is, although I haven't yet achieved the goals I've set for myself as a professional golfer, it's given me an opportunity to inspire young Saudi male and females to go out and think that they can do something abnormal, something that's not popular, and make their own way, and to kind of set goals and dreams that maybe we wouldn't have had 10, 15 years ago. So I get some amazing opportunities to be doing cycles. I get some amazing opportunities to share something that's given me so much in my life to people that are interested. And this is the big things that we're doing in cycles. So yes, we should all have a big dream, a massive dream, and even if people say you're crazy, people think you can't do it, I think go out and strive to do that, but also be flexible, because you don't know what could happen. So that's my journey, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. We really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have some questions for our speaker. Anyone? Zoom. People on Zoom. No questions?
How many golf courses are there in Saudi?
So 5 now, and part of the cultural shift and the economic change, we're going to have 25 in the next 10 years. So it's a big direction, big real estate game, building amazing golf courses, and hopefully encouraging people to go out and try something new.
And where are they?
So there's 1 in the eastern province of Dhahran, there's 3 in Riyadh, and 1 in the King Abdullah economic city, Jeddah. And the plan is to have a golf course in every city in the kingdom.
Any other questions?
Thank you for the talk. My question is, how can you make sure your passion is still there? يعني مع كل الظروف and everything going on, how do you make sure you're still very passionate about it and you keep going?
I think it comes from something internal that drives us to be the best person we can be, or for me personally, it's making an impact. It's always been, what kind of effect am I leaving on people when I come into a room, or when I go to an event? How am I being perceived? Am I carrying myself in a way that would make myself proud, my parents proud, and my country proud? And I find that is always a driving factor for me with my passion. And I think it's okay for people to have something they're super passionate about and then fall out of love with that. It's normal. I think it's just life. We grow as people, and we find different things in life that light a fire in our soul. And I think as long as we can be true to ourselves, we can continue to see things that we are passionate about, and to be able to pivot.
Any other questions? Thank you for the talk. I would like to ask if you are one of the few people, or only people who are doing something, like for example the golf for Saudi Arabia, does that put more pressure on you, or it's less pressure because there's no one else, someone else to compare you with?
I think that's a good question. I think it's both. I think it's more pressure because you're being judged at a little bit of a higher standard, and it's more pressure because there's no roadmap. There's no guidelines of what's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. And I found in my particular situation, I had to learn the hard way of what the right way to train, the right way to travel, the right way to try and share the game that I love. But it's also a little less pressure because the bar is being set by yourself. So every step you take is kind of the new bar. And it's something I've had to push myself a little bit more because I need to set long-term and short-term goals that I need to achieve. And so to answer your question, it's a little bit of both.
Okay, any other questions? Zoom. Thank you so much for your talk. Thank you so much for your time. We really enjoyed it, and we hopefully look forward to meeting you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to our virtual audience. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we hope you have a lovely day. Thank you.